Good afternoon, Dr. Rhodes. This is my final presentation on Pfizer, the corporation. The title for my presentation is Pfizer, the Pharma Standard. My question to my presentation is the Pfizer vaccine the best option of COVID vaccine available to us today? So a little bit of history about the Pfizer Corporation itself. The company Pfizer is named after German-American cousins Charles Pfizer and Charles Erhardt in 1849. They launched a chemical business called Charles Pfizer and Company. The original facilities, located in Manhattan, New York, were used up until 2005, until Pfizer tore them down and saw that it was fit to upgrade their facilities technologically and expand their size for the more employees they had brought in. There are four subdivisions of the Pfizer Corporation themselves. The Human Healthcare Division, which is what I'll be focusing more on today, and more specifically, their mRNA COVID-19 vaccine. The Consumer Healthcare Division, being that of over-the-counter drugs and prescriptions. The Animal Health part of their division, and their corporate groups. So the Human Health Division, more specifically, their mRNA COVID-19 vaccine. This was authorized by the FDA on December 11th, 2020, and it is recommended for an age of 16 years old or older, although they are still developing scientific pathways to try and lower that age to young teenagers. So what you need to know before getting vaccinated. COVID-19 is a disease caused by the coronavirus called SARS-CoV-2. This type of coronavirus has not been seen before, meaning that it is new, hence why we have first called it the novel coronavirus. You can get COVID-19 through direct contact with another person who has been exposed or has been tested positive with the virus. It is predominantly a respiratory illness that can affect other organs. People with COVID-19 have had a wide range of symptoms, ranging from mild symptoms to severe symptoms. Symptoms may appear 2 days after exposure, all the way to 14 days. Symptoms may include fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headaches, new or loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an unapproved vaccine that may prevent COVID-19. There is no approved FDA vaccine to prevent COVID-19 at this point. The FDA has approved the emergency use of Pfizer's vaccine to prevent COVID-19 in individuals of 16 years or older. Pfizer's vaccine is a live vaccination, which means that there are live cells of COVID-19 within the vaccine itself. There are currently two vaccines on the market for COVID-19, the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. Today I will be focusing more on the Pfizer vaccine rather than the Moderna. The next three slides are figures 1 through 3 on a Harvard research about mRNA vaccination transmissions into the human body. COVID-19 mRNA vaccinations give instructions to our cell to make a harmless piece of what is called the spike protein. The spike protein is found on the surface of the virus that causes COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are given in the upper arm muscle or large muscle group. Once the instructions are inside the immune cells, the cells use them to make the protein piece. After the protein piece is made, the cells break down the instructions and get rid of them. Here you can see the first initial transmission from vaccination to where the cells begin to make the protein. In figure 2, the cell displays the protein piece on its surface. Our immune system recognizes that the protein doesn't belong there and begins building an immune response, making antibodies, like what happens in a natural infection against COVID-19. At the end of this process, as you can see here, our bodies have learned how to protect against future infections. The benefit, as you can see here in a study by the Harvard Medical Journal on a cancer cell, an mRNA was introduced into the body to try to fight a tumor. The immune system has taken the mRNA cells and in return has fought the tumor cells off, causing it to eradicate the cells. Although all the scientific terms might seem scary, mRNA vaccines are not a new thing. Researchers have been studying and working with mRNA vaccines for decades. Interest have grown in these vaccines because they can be developed in a laboratory using readily available materials. This means the process can be standardized and scaled up, making vaccines develop faster than traditional methods of making vaccines. mRNA vaccines have been studied before for the flu, Zika, rabies, and as soon as the necessary information about the virus that causes COVID-19 was available, scientists began designing mRNA instructions for cells to build the unique spike protein in an mRNA vaccine. Future mRNA vaccine technology may allow for one vaccine to provide protection for multiple diseases, thus decreasing the number of shots needed for protection against common vaccine-presentable diseases. Beyond vaccines, mRNA is also being used, as you can see in this figure, to fight cancer. Cancer research has used mRNA to trigger the immune system to target specific cancer cells. So I'll let this figure sit up on the screen and you can analyze it as well. I'll actually go back to previous figures as I might have gone too quick. So as you can see, this is the first initial figure where you can see the protein synthesis working and the antigen becoming into activation with the immune cells. Here is figure 2, where you can see the RNA. Here's the antigen, here's the activation site, and then you can see a secondary response to the real pathogen. So you can see the activation here, here is the pathogen, and the memory cell, as you can see pictured here, is going to engulf this pathogen and eradicate it from the cell. And here is that last figure that I was talking about. Here you can see the same thing with tumor cells. Here is the memory cells with the activated pathogen inside of it. And as you can see, they will engulf the tumor cells here and eradicate them from the body system. This is a vaccinated person's public health recommendation per the CDC guideline. So protection from vaccine is not immediate. There is a two-dose series of injections to the major muscle group being the bicep. The first dose is given and then you must wait 21 days until the next dose is administered. After the second dose is administered, the mRNA cycle will begin to occur and it will take exactly 7 to 10 days based on when you got it until it will start fighting COVID-19 itself. Here is a list of risks and symptoms of the Pfizer vaccine. So some of the side effects that have been reported with the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine include injection site pain, being that of your muscle group, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, fever, injection site swelling, redness around the injection site, nausea, feeling unwell, or swollen lymph nodes. As you can see, I've added a personal note. I have received and talked to people who have as well received the Pfizer vaccine in both doses, and I saw most of the symptoms associated except for the nausea, fatigue, and the redness around the vaccination site. My parents have also received the Pfizer vaccine, and they saw minimal symptoms as well. And we are all excited about having it, and that it can fight off COVID-19. Here is a list of my 5 sources, as well as sources listed on each and every one of the images that I have used throughout this presentation. Thank you for watching. Please email me if you have any questions. My email is dxa120@francis.net, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future.